Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Predator, South China Sea by Jeff VanderMeer. This is a book that came out in 2008. It's a sci-fi action from Dark Horse. Okay, there's a bit of preamble to this video. There is a story behind this. Also, I'm wearing my Predator shirt. I'm going to admit to something that I hope doesn't lose me any followers. I know it's morally gray of me, perhaps even inexcusable in some eyes, but desperation does strange things to you when temptation is thrown in your lap. I have been trying to track down this ugly motherfucker for years. Seriously, years. Every few months, I log on to Amazon, eBay, A-Books, Thrift Books, whatever, and try and find a copy of this bad boy for sale. If you look on Amazon, it's selling for like a minimum of $150. Why? Is it that? Do people want it that badly? Like, maybe they do. Anyway, I went above and beyond in trying to find this. I emailed Jeff VanderMeer himself, no response. He probably thought I was either a psychopath and or it went to spam. And I even emailed Dark Horse and was like, do you have a copy I could just buy, like even if it's just like a PDF? I almost had a copy once, but the store was in the United States and they wouldn't ship to Canada. So I emailed a friend that lives in the States and was like, hey, can I ship this to you and I'll pay you back for shipping to me? By the time they replied, the book was gone. It was up there for like an hour. Someone pointed it out to me on Instagram. I was like, aren't you looking for this book? And I was like, yes, thank you very much. And then I was like, nope. Like, curses. Now, what I would not stoop to doing was paying $150 or whatever for this thing because, I mean, come on. It's a Predator novel. So, one night a few weeks back, I got into I wonder if I could find that Predator novel kind of mood, and I went to all my usual places, and then I stumbled upon this Alien versus Predator forum. I try to avoid those things because I get kind of like sucked into it. And yeah, after poking around, reading some fun fan theory stuff, I landed on a thread where people were like, how come you can't find this book? Why is it impossible to find? And lo and behold, some man was like, hey guys, I have a PDF. Here you go. And he just posted it, free to download. And I was like, I have principles about stealing books. I would never use a pirating site. But the way I see it, Dark Horse clearly doesn't care, since it won't put the book up on ebook themselves, or whoever owns the rights now. The movies are 20th Century Fox, now Disney, I guess. You know, they likely have no interest in doing so. I have no idea if Jeff VanderMeer himself owns the rights, given it's a franchise book. Probably not. It probably is Dark Horse or Disney. So, you know what? God damn it. I'm not a billionaire who can spend $50 on a book regardless if it's my white whale. So I am going to download this book and read it. And I did. I clicked that damn little arrow, I sent it to my Kindle, and I read the book. And it wasn't even that good. At least it's no longer, pissing me off, right? That's a win, right? Anyway. Okay, so drama aside, here is my review. First of all, what is this book about? On a remote South China Sea island, a deadly hunt is underway, but not the kind of expedition the participants expected. In this remote jungle-colored island, somewhere between Thailand and Indonesia, some of the most exotic animals in the world have been gathered as the prizes in a challenge of human against nature. The hunters come from all walks of life. Each has come to the island for personal reasons, some secret, some deadly. But when the encampment's owner, Colonel Rath Priap, finds the fences cut and the security men missing, it's clear that the game has turned. And as the hunters battle for survival, they discover there is another creature out for blood, an adversary that has faced death on 1,000 worlds, a predator with an unstoppable lust for conquest. I probably didn't have to read you that. I mean, you know what the gist of Predator novels are. But anyway, this is a decent Predator novel. We have the setup chapter where the Predator leaves a bunch of people dead and others confused / shitting their pants. Then we have the cast of red shirts and main characters in the location where the hunt will take place. In this case, it's that Trophy Hunter Island where trophy hunters become the trophy hunties, of course. The reason I wanted to read this book so badly was because I was hoping for some of Jeff VanderMeer's weird stuff to shine through. As you know, he's one of the masters of weird sci-fi, and I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. I have read most of his books. I've probably read 90% of them. A few are actually over on my favorite shelf. What got me into his books in the first place was this Halo short story called, yes, Halo was in the video game, called The Mona Lisa. It was in this like Halo compendium book because for a while I was like obsessed with reading Halo books. So while there are a few lines here and there in this book that are rather poetic or kind of interesting, stuff you wouldn't really expect in a, movie spin-off book, it's definitely not a like weird take on Predator in terms of like the subgenre weird fiction. I can't fault the book for staying in its lane, but you know what else stays in its lane? A Honda Odyssey. I'd rather be looking at something with a character, I mean, no shame on Odysseys. I have one. Her name is Penny, short from Penelope, because of the Odyssey, right? Right? You get it. Anyway, this book takes a while to get going in the sense of immersion. There are so many characters, so many men I couldn't keep track of. Eventually, enough get killed off that we're left with a few, and that problem disappears. Maybe that was the intention, though, that we don't have a main character, so that we're not sure who's expendable and who's not. If so, okay, fair, that worked. If not, it was a bit jumbled. There was also, I'm surprised to say, a lot of passive writing in this book, which might have been why I had trouble really getting involved in the story until about halfway through. There was just a lot of, they went here, he saw this. I'm just like, okay. Once it gets going, a few of the main characters really do start to shine. It's no surprise I love Marakova, the Russian assassin lady. Not only does she probably get the most page time, making her, I guess, kind of the main character, she is a huge badass and bucked the stereotype of assassins being ice cold, as she was very protective and loving of her partner Nikolai. He's also an assassin, I think. I liked him as well. Regarding the other characters, there was an interesting twist on one character that suffered a bit due to competing narratives. It didn't hit as hard as it could have been. At the end, I was kind of like, oh yeah. And there's another character who starts off the story but doesn't show up until much later and with a pretty flimsy motive. But I did like what they did when they arrived, so I forgive them for that. One thing I did appreciate the novel was a brief conversation between two women characters, making this book just pass the Bechdel test. You didn't need to do that, VanderMeer. You didn't, but you did it, and I liked that. Thank you. In terms of the Predator, I wasn't super into their depiction. VanderMeer gave him an almost animalistic nature, which I suppose is interesting, but I prefer the Predators to be like my boy Scar from Alien vs. Predator. Do I ship him and Lex? Of course I do. Given what VanderMeer does with the Sankieli in his Halo story, he humanizes them a lot, I was hoping for some of that here with the Predator, but instead the Predator is quite flat. We get nothing in terms of their culture, motivation, or even personality. I didn't find that the lore was entirely consistent to other books either. Like, why would the Predator kill a rhino that's just standing there? That doesn't, seem like his typical kind of MO. Likewise, the book uses it pronouns for the Predator, which was weird to me. Like, they would have been totally fine in my eyes if VanderMeer didn't want to give them a gender. But this book came out in 2008, so maybe that's why. I don't know. If there had been a bit more backstory on the Predator, they might have had a gender, though, and would have resolved this it problem. I don't know, just calling a sentient being it doesn't seem very polite to me. I don't know. I don't even like calling my animals it. Anyway, the action scenes in the book are very fun if that's what you're reading these books for, which I'm assuming you probably are. They are a bit rushed at times at the start, but if you're looking for a high kill count, the book has a full-on battle at one point, which was pretty fun. The last third also branches into a sort of battle royale situation where we're following a bunch of characters around in different places and they get taken out one by one, which was a cool way of doing it. It kind of showed, it gave different death scenes and things. I think that's actually what made it a really, really fun movie. In truth, the last third of the book is quite strong and very exciting. The first 2/3 of the book is fine, just not as awesome as I was hoping given how long I've been waiting to get my hands on this particular white whale of mine. Overall, if you get a hold of this book, it's totally worth your time if you love Predator novels, but it's not worth $150 on Amazon or whatever it is now. And no, I will not share the PDF with you. I feel bad enough about compromising my morals the first time. I'm not going to encourage that behavior. Anyway, I hope you found that kind of entertaining. I kind of had a lot of fun filming this video because it's kind of all over the place. And yeah, I guess I'm just going to go and watch AVP right now because I deserve it. Also, The Predator is probably one of the worst Predator movies, but I love the little dog creatures from it. Aren't they cute? My husband bought this for me. Also, I dragged him to the theater to watch that movie, and he was not happy with me about that. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a copy of this book, because congratulations!